share my screen. Hey everyone, good morning. So we are going to continue the questions on record sharing and security. And let me know if you guys are able to see my screen. And I think we covered till question number 16. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we'll have to pick from 70. Or I think we have a 17 was also done, but then we will repeat. That is fine. Okay. Everyone is there on set. All right. Question number 17 says some object has OWD default setting and profile has read only. Suppose I am the owner of the object. Can you read and edit of that object? Okay. So what he's trying to ask is that OWD is, let's say, set to public read write. Okay. But on profile, you only have read permission. So if on profile, you only have read permission, then irrespective of what you have on the OWD, you will only be able to read it because from the profile itself, you just got the read only permission. So irrespective of OWD, if you only have read on your profile, you will only be able to read it. You will not be able to edit it. In case you want to increase it, in case you also want to edit it, then the first thing will be that you get the edit permission from your profile. Okay, then only anything from the OWD will come in picture. Okay, so if you just have read only, then even if you are the owner of that record, you will only be able to read it. Okay, so here profile will come in picture, and if you have to increase it, then you will have to use the either change the profile or the permission set. Nothing changing on the sharing side will change this setting unless you change the profile or permission set. Okay, it was an easy question, so whichever. Okay, there are two objects like contact and college. Contact is parent and has public read only, and college is a child. Okay, here is it possible to give read-write permission to child object with OWD? If yes, how can it be possible? If no, what is the reason? Now, see, whenever you get question like this, you will have to ask follow-up question because this is not a complete picture. There are two objects, contact and college. You will first ask how they are connected with each other. What is the relationship between them? Is it a lookup relationship or it is a master detail relationship? Okay, if it is a master detail relationship, then obviously the access of child object will be controlled by the parent object. Okay, it will not be independent. But if it is a lookup relationship, then you can have something for child itself. It will not be controlled by the parent. So here you will have to ask the follow-up question, is it lookup or master detail? And based on the answers, you will say, okay, is it possible or not possible? Okay, so if it is master detail, then obviously it will be controlled by parent, not by child. If you'll have to give, then you have to either change something, set some settings on parent, then you can do that. Okay, so sometimes interviewer intentionally give you incomplete or of half of the question, and then they expect you to ask the follow-up question on that. Okay. Next one is there is an object called contact which has OWD private. There are two users called A and B with different profiles. Here user A has read access on contact object and user B also has read access. Okay, but user A can't see record of user B. User B can't see record of user A. What is the problem here? How can it be possible? Okay. See, it is also a completely different question. OWD is private, okay, on the contact object. Okay. So sharing settings, via sharing settings, you know that OWD is private. So by that, they should only be able to see their own contacts. Now user A and user B have different profiles. Okay. User A can have user A has read access and user B has also read access. So what they're trying to say is that from their profiles also they have read access available on that object. Okay. Now user A is not able to see B record, user B is not able to see A record. Okay. So it has nothing to do with the profiles. Whenever somebody is not able to see someone else's record or something, it is always a record level sharing thing. Okay, record level sharing. So you can, okay, just give me a second. Okay, Now I think it should be visible. Okay, so now user A was not able to see B record. That means that record was not shared with B. So it is sharing related problem, not the profile related problem. Okay. It might be possible, it might be possible that the record of user B was not shared with user A. That is why user A is not able to see the record B of the record of user B. Okay. Now here you can also clearly see that view all permission will not kick in place because they both are not able to see each other's record, right? So it's a simple case that record has not been shared with them, or they might be part of a different sharing group and record have not been shared with them. Okay, so whatever he gave you about the profiles or something is not relevant because it has nothing to do with the profile. It only has something to do with the sharing settings. Okay, anyone has any doubt in this question? Even if you have doubt later on, no worries, you can just ping me and then we can discuss. See record sharing and security type of questions we keep on discussing because it's never ending doubts. Okay, how to give two different page layouts to two different user having same profile? Okay, obviously by the record type and page layout. Okay, that's an easy one. Can we get a practical demo on how to set the role hierarchy, north, south, manager, practical scenario? Yeah, we can do that. Let me just mark it on yellow. I think this was a request from batch one. Okay, next question. If a user does not have access to a specific record type, will they be able to see the record that has that record type? Okay, anyone wants to answer that? Mehul, you want to answer this? Did you ever
Uh,
encounter something like this?
I think they will be able to see the records.
Yeah, right. He won't be able to create though.
Correct. Correct. 100%. This is a tricky question. Sometimes when it comes in an interview, we feel that, okay, because we have not seen this practically, we always go with maybe, maybe not. So be very sure when something like this comes. Okay. They will be able to see the record, but they will not be able to create the record of that record type. Okay. Now this is a very good question. Okay. And this is a large question. So I'll explain this. Okay, I think many of you might have already gone through this. So what this question is saying, okay, we are talking about account object. Okay, and I understand it very well. Be with me. Account is OWD is private. Okay, so everybody will be able to see only their own accounts. Okay, now there is a user, or you can say person A, person one. Person one created the record, created an account. Okay, person one created the account. So person one is the owner of that account and he is able to see that account. Okay. And note it down. Person one is able to is created owner of that account. So is able to see that. Now there is a person two. Person two is the owner of person one. So the by the virtue of role hierarchy, he is also able to see the record. Okay. Now there are two person. Now there is a person three. Okay. Okay, now there is some criteria based sharing rule applied, and because of that, persons three is also able to access that record. Okay, then there is person four. Okay, person three shared that record with person four. Okay, and so person 4 is also able to see. Now there is some apex shading rule applied by virtue of that person 5 is also able to see the records. Okay. So now there are 5 users who are able to see this account ABC. Okay. Now you as a system administrator went on to the record account ABC and changed the owner of this record. So person 1 was the owner of this record. You change it to, let's say, person 10. Now, who among all the 5 users which earlier had access will have access on this record now? That is the question. Okay, so we will again repeat. I will again repeat the question. There was an account ABC which was created by person 1 and he was able to access that record because he was the owner of that. Okay, now there is person 2 who is the manager of person 1 and he'll also be able to access the record because he is the manager of the owner. There was some criteria based sharing rule by which person 3 was also able to access this record because criteria was meeting. Then person 3 shared that record manually with person 4. And person 5 got the access of that record via Apex sharing. Now, as an admin, you went on to and changed the owner of that record. Okay, so now who all among person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will have access to the record? This is a very tricky question, guys. In an interview, you will have to apply all your record sharing and visibility knowledge to answer something like this because in a single question, he will throw everything at you. Okay, now person 1 will obviously not be able to see the record because owner has been changed. Okay, so person 1 will not be able to access it. Okay. Person 2. Person 2 was manager of person A. Will he be able to see or not depends on whether this person 2 is now manager of person 10 or not. If he is not the manager of the current user, then he will also not be able to see it. But if he is manager of the current owner as well, then he might be able to see it. Okay. So there is no yes or no. There is a possibilities. You'll have to explain the possibilities in your answers. Okay, and that's what he's looking for. He's not looking for yes or no answer. Okay, he's looking for your solution approach and then what possibilities can be possible. Okay, person 3 got the access of this record via criteria based sharing rule. Okay, so it depends whether the criteria is still meeting or not. If criteria is still meeting, then he might be able to see the record, otherwise he will not be able to. So again, in this case as well, there is no yes or no answer. There is possibility based on if criteria is meeting, then he will be able to, otherwise he will not be able to. Had it been owners based sharing, then he will not be able to see the record. Okay, and interviewer might trick you by saying, by even not saying anything, he can say that there was a sharing rule. So in that case, you will have to specifically ask whether it was a criteria based sharing rule or ownership based sharing rule. If it was criteria, and if criteria is still meeting, then he might still be able to see the record. Okay, so person 3 may or may not be able to see depending on meeting the criteria. Now person 4 will not be able to access because record was manually shared. The moment we change the owner, the share record will get deleted. So person 4 will not be able to see the record. Person 5. Person 5 will also not be able to see the record because record was shared with the Apex sharing, and we are talking about account object. So on account object, we only have manual row calls, and manual row calls will get deleted the moment we change the owner of the record. Okay, so person 5 will also not be able to see this record. Had it been a custom object, had there been a custom row cause, then he might still be able to see. But here we are talking about account object. He specified that. Okay, so in this, person 5 will also not be able to see because in the Apex sharing for standard objects, only manual row cause option is available. That will get deleted the moment we change the owner of. Okay, so that is the complete answer. Here somebody has put that person 5 may still be able to see if the criteria is still meeting. Person 5 will not be able to see because manual row cause get deleted. Okay, so this is a very good question. I also sometimes ask in an interview and people get confused. Okay, so this, because this question throws so many things at you that you tend to get confused about all those things. So practice this question very well. Don't believe in my answers blindly. Think about your reasoning as well on the question like this. Why I'm saying that he'll not have And obviously you can come back to me, we can have a discussion on why I think like that and why you feel like that. Sometimes we do these kind of discussions in group as well, so that the maybe the best answer come out. Okay. All right. If you were able to understand this question perfectly, then I'm 100% sure that you will be able to understand any other question on the sharing and security. Okay, because in one question there'll not be so many things thrown at you like this question. Okay. There is a sales executive in the org and he left the company. In his place, a new sales representative came. So how can we give him access of data of which the last executive owned? Okay, see, whenever somebody leaves and someone replace that data, we sometimes do the data cleaning as well. Sometimes we change the ownership manually as well. Sometimes we create the sharing rule or some criteria based sharing or some ownership based sharing to share the same data with the other user as well. It depends on couple of other factors, like the same user is coming on the same role hierarchy and all the other things. If everything is intact, then we can just create a sharing rule and share that data with him, or we can also change the data ownership from the backend as well, like fetch the data which the other user is owning and then upload that data with the new owner. So it can be possible that we just do the data cleaning and upload the new owner via the data loader or something as well. It is possible. But okay, you can also create a sharing rule, ownership based sharing, that will also help in the scenarios like this. Okay, whosoever goes through these questions, make sure that you also put your answers here if you feel you know the answers. Okay. Otherwise, it will be me who will be putting. Okay. If running user does not have access on certain field, and if they are trying to run Apex class, which query all those field which user does not assign permission, class is mentioned without sharing. So will it fetch or record or not? Okay. See, if it is only about if it is running in the system context, and if even if user does not have the field access, if the code is running in the backend in the system context, it will be able to fetch the record. It will be able to do whatever you are doing on that record, no matter if you have FLS on that field or not. With sharing or without sharing are only related to records. They do not check the field level securities. Now, we do have field level security checks available, but by default it will not check. And if it is running in the system context, you will be able to do, or user will be able to query whatever he was querying, even if he does not have permission on the those fields. So yes, you will still be able to fetch.
If they run with sharing?
Sorry? Yeah, even if it is with sharing, if it is running in the system context, see, with sharing or without sharing is only related to the record level security, not related to the field level security. So they will not enforce any field related things. Okay. Even if it is with sharing, then also he'll be able to fetch the field, even though he does not have access to field. Okay. If it is with sharing, then it depends on whether he has access to that record or not about the field access to record or not. Okay, with sharing and without sharing only concerned about access to that particular record. Field level security will not be enforced by any of these things, with sharing or without sharing. Okay, you get my point?
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Write it down somewhere. Field level security will not be enforced by with sharing or without sharing. Okay. Same question is that same scenario as above, but Apex class with sharing. So in this case, yeah, it has nothing to do with FLS. SQL query will not throw any error. This with sharing without sharing is more of field level or record level. It is only record level. It has nothing to do with the field level. Okay. What is Apex sharing reason? How many you can create at max on an object? Okay, Apex sharing reasons, we know it is the reason why we are sharing a particular record. Okay. And how many we can create is something I need to check. How many Apex Okay, we can create 10 epic sharing record. Okay. So somebody if ask you how many maximum epic sharing reasons you can create on an object, you can say we can create 10 epic sharing reasons. These are the reasons why we are sharing the record. Okay. And when we change the owner of the record, then also your share record will not get deleted if you have used the custom epic sharing reason, not the manual. Manual will get deleted. Okay. What is the difference between manual sharing reason and apex define? The same I am telling you. When we define a apex defined sharing reason, even if we change the owner of the record, okay, then also the apex sharing, because of the apex defined sharing reason, Salesforce feels that it was custom defined. That means you will take care of the deletion part, whether the sharing is required now or not. They will not delete it automatically. But in case of manual sharing, if you change the ownership, then Salesforce feels that now that you have changed the owner, your criteria must have changed. I have to delete the record because it was manually shared. Okay, so that is the only reason. And I believe on you guys to put answers here. Okay. What happens to the shared record when we delete the sharing reason associated with that? Okay, even if it is apex defined sharing reason, okay, and that is only for the case of apex defined sharing reason, is that you get to delete it. Okay, when you delete the sharing reason, apex defined sharing reason, all the shared record which got created because of this particular reason will also get deleted. Okay, so this is a tricky question. Somebody who has not worked on apex defined sharing reason will not be able to answer it. So now you, if you get these questions, you should be able to answer them. Okay. Anyone has any doubt in this question? Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, hi Chaitanya.
Hi, Chetan. Hi, Mohit. Can you repeat what you
Yeah.
just told? Thank you.
So if you see, you understand what is apex defined sharing reason, right?
Right.
So what happens is that because of that apex defined sharing reason, many shared record will get created, right? And I
Yes.
just told you that even if I delete, even if I change the owner of the main record, which was shared by the apex defined sharing rule, even if I change the owner of that record, the share record will not get deleted because the reason was apex defined sharing. Okay.
Okay.
So what happens is that now how will you get to know, or if now you have to delete those shared record, you no longer need them, how will you do that? You will not search it manually one by one. What you can do is that you can go to the that object and see what are the apex defined sharing reason. And if you delete that particular sharing reason, apex defined sharing reason, then
Okay.
whatever shared record which was created having that particular sharing reason in it will also get deleted automatically. Okay, so that is the whole and soul of this question. Okay, let's say 10 records got created having that
Okay.
particular sharing reason defined. Okay,
Yes.
now if you delete that particular sharing reason, it will not only delete sharing reason but also all 10 records associated with it as well. Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, yeah, it is very important that we get clarity on our questions. Otherwise, they will forever remain unanswered in our mind. Okay, so even if there is a question you have doubt on, you write it down, or we will get clarity on it. That there is not a good way to keep them open in your mind. Even if I do not have answer right now, I will try to find the answer. Okay. Now, question number 31 says, user A has manually shared a record with user B, but still he is not able to view the record. What could be the reason? Okay, see, it's an open-ended question. User A has manually shared the record with user B. He still is not able to view the record. So you will say that you will ask a couple of follow-up questions. Okay, now user B, is he able to view any other record of that object? If they say yes, he is still able to see any other record of that object, that means profile level permission is not an issue here. Ideally, if B is not able to see a record shared by user A, then he might not have profile permission at all on that object. But then interviewer might say, okay, he has profile level permission. He is able to see other records. Let's say we are talking about accounts. He'll say that no, he's able to see other accounts. It's just that that particular account he is not able to see. So first approach will be to go for the object level permissions, like he might not have any read permission on that particular object. Then either he will correct you that he has read permission, or he'll be satisfied with their answer. If he says that he does not have, he has profile level permission, he is able to see other object, then there might be possibility that you have a restriction rule in place, and because of that restriction rule, you are not able to see that particular record even if it was shared manually with you. So restriction rule will restrict the record to you even if it was shared, even if it was shared in the read and edit mode. If there is a restriction rule which is restricting permission for that particular record, you will not be able to see the record. Restriction rule basically restrict couple of records to a particular user. Okay, so there can be possibility that we have a restriction rule. Okay, so that is restriction rule. Question number 32 says, two users have same profile, but user A is able to see a field, but user B is not able to see a field. Why? Okay, there can be two reasons. They have same profile, that means profile is not an issue. They both have um, uh, same profile. Now, it might be possible that via profile, they only have the it might be possible that by profile they might not have access on that particular field, but user A might have a permission set assigned which is giving him a field access, but user B does not have a permission set, and that is why he is not able to see that particular field. Okay, that is one reason. That is the basic reason. There is other possibility that they might be assigned a different page layout, and on the page layout of user A, the field is visible, whereas the on page layout of user B, that particular field is not visible, okay, or hidden, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so these two will be approaches, normal approaches. You can tell him, and obviously he will ask couple of follow-up questions, but you will have to understand this is field level security. It has nothing to, even if he throws sharing rule, sharing settings, whatever it is, it has nothing to do with the sharing rule. He is only talking about field that comes in the object level securities, not on the record level security. So you will not even go to record level part. You will come here in the object level security itself, and you will feel that it could be a profile permission sets, it could be page layout, record type, but it cannot be sharing rule, manual sharing role hierarchy, OWD, because it has nothing to do with the OWD. OWD or sharing settings comes in picture when we are talking about being able to see someone else's record. Then those sharing settings comes in picture. Okay, so I hope this question is clear to you guys. Let me know if you have any doubt.
Page layout might not be different for them, right? Because they are having same profile.
Why can't we have different page layout for same profile? If we
I
do
mean,
different record,
Page layout assignment happens on the record types, right?
yeah, if we create two different record types and assign different page layouts, why can't it be happen?
oh yeah, right. I missed
Yeah.
that.
See, so it's all about possibility. See, and he as an interviewer is also not looking for answer. You have to understand that he has asked you a question to understand your approach, your, a wireframe behind the scene, what you think about something like this. Okay, he's not looking for answers. He already know the answer. So sometimes directly jumping onto answer is not a very good approach. It is good to explain him the approach you are following to reach that answer. Okay, so you can say, if I get this question, very simply, I'll say that, okay, they might have the same profile, and that profile might not be giving that field permission at all. There could be a profile, there could be a permission set which is giving user A the field permission, but user B does not have same permission set. So that is why user B might not be able to see that particular field. This is approach one. If he disagrees with this approach, then I can say he'll obviously say that, yeah, this can be one way. Is there any other way? then you will go to, okay, there is a possibility that there might be multiple record type and multiple page layout. The page layout assigned to user A might have that field visible, whereas the page layout assigned to user B might have that field hidden from the page layout. So that can also be possible. Okay, he might still be looking for something else, but at least you told him your approach, whatever you feel about the question. Okay, there is no more right. There will be wrong only if you go to the sharing settings zone, because it has nothing to do with the sharing settings. If you go to the sharing setting, or you say that field has not been shared or record has not been, he'll obviously understand that you do not understand the basic difference between field level security and object level security. Then obviously he will give you a negative marking on this. Okay, so sometimes we just need to bifurcate first whether I have to go to object level security or profile levels, record level security. Even yesterday or last session, I was telling you that when it comes to seeing particular thing, we will not talk about object level security a lot, because that has more things to do with the sharing. I know in the profile we have view all and modify all option available, but that is very rare case. When we can throw that thing as an exception at the end. We can throw that at last. They might have view all, which by which they are able to. But understand, if in an org you start giving a view all permission to a user for the visibility of a particular record, they will have access to every record of that object. And that is not a very good approach, because I have seen org in my practical, in my career as well, that they were very poorly designed, and they had no idea about record visibility. Every time a user come to us, they used to give them view all permission so that they'll be able to see, they'll be able to view the record for now. But what they were not focusing on is that they are user want to see only one record, we are giving him access to 500 records. That was not a very good approach. Okay. Okay.
Hello, one minute.
Yes.
Palash here.
Yeah, hi Palash.
Yeah, hi, good morning. I have doubt on this question.
Mhm.
So, user A and able to see field, but user B is not able to see. So, whether it is coming that role hierarchy or not, as you
No,
said, like no, it is not coming.
it has nothing to do with the sharing settings or any option available in the sharing settings, because it is about the field, that
Okay.
particular field, not the
Mm.
data of that field. When it comes to data, then we go to the record level thing. When it comes to field or object itself, then we come to the profile levels things. Okay.
Profile.
So he's not
Okay.
able to see that field itself. But there is no option in the record sharing and security to give access to or hide access to a particular field. When it comes to viewing the data of that field, then we might have a chance to go in that zone. But in this case, just the
Okay.
profile and permission set, or at max record types and page layout. That's it. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Mohit.
No problem. See, it is very important that we clarify all of our doubt in terms of this, because even when I was new, these things always used to confuse me, and I used to mix these things together. And when you mix these things, then you will never come to the right answer, because you will always have doubts. Okay, so it is important, no matter how much time it take, it is important that you go through these things, and you understand how important it is. They have their own certification for sharing and visibility, just for the sharing and visibility. Okay, so you can understand how important it is. Okay. All right, coming on to the next question. What if profile is changed for a user? What impact will it have? Can we directly change the profile? Yes, profile. If we change the profile of a user, it will have a drastic impact on what he will be able to do in the system, what he'll be able to, which record he'll be able to, which object he will be able to see, which tab he will be able to see. It will have a very drastic effect on user, because profile contains the um, when it comes to profiles are all about what a user can do in a particular system. And if we change the profile, it will drastically change what a user can do in a system. Can we directly change the profile? Yes, we can directly change a user's profile by going to the record detail page, user detail page, and change it. It will have drastic impact. He might not be able to see the things which he was earlier able to see. He might be able to see more things than what he was able to see earlier. He might be able to see more apps. He might be able to see setup, depending on which profile you are changing from and which profile you are changing to. Okay. Can permission set restrict object and field level access? No, permission set cannot restrict it. So whatever you have given on profile, if you try to restrict it from the permission set, that will not be happen and profile will override in such case. So let's say on account, you have already given read, write, edit, and delete permission for account object. Okay. And now you created a permission set, and by that permission set, you are only giving read and write. So in that context, if the user will have that permission set, he will still be able to edit and delete everything. He'll be able to do whatever he has on the profile. So profile, whatever you are giving on profile, he will always have plus on top of that, what you give on permission set. If that is additional, then user will be able to get additional thing. But if it is restrictive or giving less permission, then obviously profile will override the things. Okay. Yes, Swapnil, go ahead.
Hi, Mohit. Have you checked about that permission set group? The
Not
muting the
yet.
permission, muting the
Not
permission.
yet. Not yet. Just give me one more day. I did not get much time on Saturday, Sunday, but I will definitely do it today.
Yeah, because I just recall because due to that restriction.
Okay.
Hello, Mohit.
Yes, hi Chaitanya. Go ahead.
Yes, correct me if I'm wrong. Related to 34, permission sets are used to increase the access and not to restrict, right?
Correct. You are 100% right.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Madhu.
Yes, sir. So I'm just having a doubt, like we are giving profiles for having object level access, right? So I just want to know, I just got an interview question on this, like through profiles, what and all we can do. Like I just told them only we can see for the particular objects or not. They still ask me more, like what are the reasons? So I don't have any answer for that.
They are, see, not only object level permissions, we can do a lot of other things on profile. Okay, if I open a profile for you, I'll show you
Fields, tabs,
field,
Uh,
apps, a
Page
lot of
apps
layout
access,
assignment.
custom permissions, a lot of
login policies.
so many things are there in profile. If you have to go and check the profile, it will show you how many things you get. Okay, let me show you a profile. So if I show you let's say a system administrator profile. See, you can set the page layouts. Okay. You can set the field level security. You can set the app setting, connected app, which tab should be visible, hidden, default, on, off. We can check the record type setting and change it. There are so many administrative permissions we give, like a hard delete or manage all data, view all data, whether he'll be a chatter user or not, whether he'll be able to manage other users or not, whether he'll be able to create report folder, whether he'll be able to move reports from this one folder to other. Okay, whether he'll be able to edit those things. There are or whatever these checkboxes you're seeing, these are our settings. There are general user permissions you give, whether he'll have option to mass email, whether he'll have option to manage lead or not, whether he'll be able to run a report builder or not, whether he'll be able to convert leads or not. So many other things you provide from here, not only just the object permission or field permission. So field and object permission is one thing of it, but then it has so many other things as well. So profile is a kind of thing by which you define what this user will be able to see in, or whatever, what all things he'll be able to do in this org and everything. Profile is the main factor behind what a user will be able to do in the org. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
not just the
Thank
field
you.
or object. Okay. Can we use permission set to restrict object field level access? No, obviously not. And next question is ABC, all three users in hierarchy where C is the lowest. I need to achieve A can C B record, A can C B record, right? But not C. So, okay, you want that traditional load hierarchy should not work here. A should be able to see B record, but A should not be able to see the user C's record. Okay, so what you're gonna do is that first you will uncheck. Okay, without changing sharing using role hierarchy, how can we achieve that? Without changing sharing using role hierarchy, see, first of all, we'll have to see if the role hierarchy is checked or not. Okay, if it is checked already, then C will have the access to A's record by the virtue of role hierarchy, and in that case, I will have to restrict the C's record, and A should not be able to see them by some restriction rules or scoping rule or any other thing. Okay. If it is unchecked, then it makes our job easy. In that case, I will make sure that I um I share the record of user B to user A, and by the virtue of that sharing rule we will create here, he will be able to access the B's record. Like A will be able to access the B's record, but not C's record, because we only shared the B record to user A. So we will have some ownership based sharing or some criteria based sharing by which we will create the sharing rule. Okay. But the tricky part is that if role hierarchy is already checked, then how are we going to restrict it? So for that, um, we'll have to see if we can use the restriction rules here to restrict the visibility of that thing to user A. Okay. I will check if that is possible with the restriction rule. Whose question is this?
Yeah, it's mine.
Okay, I will check this and we'll come back on this. Okay.
Apart from that, there was extended. Actually, I said we can do it through the restriction rule. Then he said about the custom permission. If we can use that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, fine. I'll go through this. Okay. 36. One profile having 5 users in same role. In that, user 1 does not want to share this record to user 5. How can we do that? One profile having 5 users in the same role. They all are in same role. They all have same profile. One user does not want to share his record to user 5. How can we do that? Okay, whose question is this? Can you explain it a bit? I mean, I just want to understand, by default, the records are getting shared by what? Is there any sharing rule or how it is already getting shared? And then we will see how we can restrict that part. So let's say if there is a sharing rule, which is sharing these records to, let's say there are 5 users in the same team, and we have created a sharing rule. And because of that, every user in the same team will be able to see someone else's record. Okay. So in that case, we will have to either change the sharing rule in such a way that other user will not, whichever user we don't want to share it with will not be part of that public group or something, or we change something in the hierarchy, we change something in the first we have to understand how a record was shared. So I'll just write down a note. Okay. All right. If the record is manually shared and record is deleted, if you restore the record from recycle bin, will the manual sharing be restored? No, it will not be restored. So if you delete the record and then restore it, the manual sharing record will not be restored. Okay. All right. There is a team in my organization. One is sales team and one is marketing team. Record created by sales team is visible only for sales team, and record created by marketing team is visible only for the marketing team. How we can achieve this? Okay. See, record created by sales team should only be visible to the sales team, and marketing team should only be visible to the marketing team. Okay, so what we can do is that we create sharing rules in such a way that the sales team will have access to sales team record and marketing team will only have access to the marketing team record. So we'll create two criteria based sharing rule on which we share the record with only their respective team. Okay, and also we can add a public group. We can create public group, and based on that we can add those users in those public group. What is the written? Private. Yeah, I think this is a classic case to use the sharing rules. Okay, and as we are talking about this whole team itself, there is nothing to do with the role hierarchy. And obviously OWD will be private because I don't want everyone to see the data. So I want it to be restricted from OWD. Role hierarchy does not have anything to do here. So I will go with the sharing rule. Okay. There is one profile, and on that profile we have 1000 users, and OWD is private for those users. We have shared some record and give read-write access to certain user. Okay, this is not a complete question. Can somebody complete this? Or this is one question. Okay, let me check it. There is one profile on the OW is where we have shared some record and give read access to certain users. On profile, I have given read write access. Now I have to reduce access to name. This is a different question. This is a different question. I'll mark it as red.
Hello Mohit, this is my question.
Yeah.
I will rectify later.
Yeah. Okay. I have marked it as red. You can complete it. Okay.
Yes, sure.
On profile, I have given read write access. Now I have to reduce access to read only using custom apex sharing. How to achieve this? Okay, see, if you have already given read write access, and I have to reduce access to read only using, see, custom apex sharing does not reduce what you already have on your profile. Okay, see, first you have to understand what is the role of sharing. Sharing means you are sharing someone else's record to some other user. Okay, what that user already has on his profile, you will not be able to change it with the sharing rule. Okay, so let's say on account you have read and write permission on via profile. Okay, so you will be able to read and edit the object that particular account. Now which account you will be able to edit? Your own account. You will not be able to edit someone else's account. How will you be able to edit someone else's account? If that account was shared with you in the read and edit permission. Okay, so what we write in the sharing rule is to extend the access, extend the someone else's record to other user, not their own user. By default, if they are owner of that record, you need not to write sharing rule or custom sharing to give access, because he is the owner, he'll already be accessed. We be able to access that. So with the custom apex sharing rule, we cannot reduce what he already has on profile. Okay, if you have shared that, yeah.
You go ahead, please.
So if you have shared that record with user, let's say there was a user A, you have shared that record with user A in read write access. Now, if the question is that now you want to reduce it to just the read access, that is something which we can talk about. But what he has on profile, he will always have. Okay. So maybe it's your question, Manjunath. You want to explain it more?
No, it's not my question.
Okay. See,
So it's my question.
sorry, who's
Palash,
Palash?
Palash. Yeah.
Okay, you have two incomplete questions in a row. You will again correct this as well, okay?
Yes. Later I will.
Just make it bit more explanatory so that user will be able to understand. See, in an interview, what happens is that you have interviewer in front of you, you can ask cross question. Okay. So we will have, see, you see this question, the question which we talked about, this one.
Right.
This question was very, very difficult to understand. Okay, we as a group in batch one studied this question and make all the assumptions by ourselves. Okay, and then checked all the possibilities. So when we were saying that person two has shared that record with person three, there was no there is no clarification whether it was a manual sharing, whether it was a criteria based sharing or ownership based sharing, because the candidate who got this question obviously was not able to answer. He got frightened with the bunch of things thrown at her. Okay, so then we debug this question, kind of explored all the possible options available. Then we come on to and write it down how this, so that whenever somebody else read this question, they will be able to understand what this question is saying. Okay, so similarly, if there is a complex question, we'll have to make sure that we write it in a way that new person will be able to understand that. Okay.
Yes, sure.
All
Mohit,
right.
I have a question on that 40th one.
Go ahead.
Yeah, even though it is incomplete, I just want to make myself clarify.
Sure, go ahead.
So we were having some assumption on that, or basic, when we have a record sharing and when we have a object level kind of sharings.
Mm-hmm.
So in both of these case, whichever is a less restrictive, we say that, yeah, for example, on the profile level we have read and edit, and record level we got a read. So as per our earlier discussions, like we will be getting the less restrictive.
You will only be able to read it.
Correct, right? So in the same way here, on the profile we are given with a read, right? So Apex sharing is nothing but you are sharing a record. So it comes to the record level sharing. So if I give a read here,
Hmm.
so why
So
can't we say
right.
that?
See, what I was not able to understand from this question is, on profile I have given read, right? Now I have to reduce access to read only using custom epics. So that is the straightforward case. Like we will just only give the read permission, and in that case, user will not be able to edit that
Edit.
record. Only if that record is of someone else. If the record is already owned by that particular user, then obviously he'll be able to edit because he is
Edit.
owner of it. So in that case, shading is not required at all because he was owner of that record. So I think a bit of more explanation I needed here. That is fine. You all also came to the right place, saying that is if there is a conflict between record level and object level, Salesforce obviously will go to the restrictive one. So if we'll have to restrict it to just read, we will just provide a sharing rule, manual sharing or criteria based sharing, and provide just the read permission. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. And your understanding is also correct on this. It will go and only give the read permission. Okay.
Yeah.
There are two sharing rules defined. One provided read only access and another read write access to the same user. This user can added in both groups, so the in this scenario what access user will get, obviously he will get read write both. Okay, so the other profile, the other sharing rule which has given read write will override in this case. Okay. There are 10 users in org and each are having access like cred at profile level. Now I want to revoke delete permission from one user without modifying profile of that user. How to revoke delete access? See, I think it has something to do with what you guys are asking me to check permissions with group and custom permissions, right? Guys, you were saying that mute the permission or something like that in the permission set group.
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
whatever
Yes.
I know about the permission set group is like muting.
Yeah.
Whatever, let's consider we have some 100 users. They are giving the permission set, giving the access to them. But in case, apart from that 100 users, if you want to reduce some restriction, access to some users, like one or two users, then we can create a mute permission and we can just reduce the access of that user by using the permission mute permission set.
Even if he has that permission on the profile, it will be able, I mean, you will be able to mute that.
Yeah. So so the new permission set, the new muted permission set will be assigned to that user.
Got it. I will check that. I will check that. This looks helpful.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that can also be taken care by the custom permission.
Okay, I will check that. Permission set, group and custom permissions. Okay. Yeah, Mudit, go ahead.
Yeah, Mohit. So when we use permission set group, we add permission sets to it, and by muting a particular permission set added to the permission set group, we can revoke the access. But in the question, it is saying that we don't have to modify the profile. So in case of using the permission set group, we anyway have to modify the profile and provide the delete access via permission set.
Yeah, that is also my doubt, is that if we already have it on profile, then how are we gonna mute it? But this is something which I will first check on my own practically, and then we'll come back to you guys. Okay. So what I want to understand is that if we have given it on profile, will it be possible to mute it via permission set group? I'm not saying that we have given it via permission set group or permission set and then muting it. We already have it on profile. So I just want to see, will it override whatever we have given on profile or not? So let's just wait for a day. I'll come back to you on this. Okay. Because I have to check it on my own and then we'll come. All right, there are multi-tenant org and there are 98 users, and user 98 split into two teams, A and B. A has 50, B has 48 users, both the team. Sorry, this question is not clear to me. Whose question is this?
Again, my question, Mohit, sorry for that. But the question is something like we need to split that license like that.
Splitting license, I don't think is possible in Salesforce. Like you cannot split license into two users. What exactly the question you got in the interview?
It was a Accenture interview, and he asked me in the telephonic round. Let me check once, and I will get back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say you have all profile and permissions to create campaign, but when you open campaign, then you will not see new button. Okay. There can be possibility that you are not the marketing user. So there is a checkbox on user record which says that marketing user. If you check that, I think then it should be visible. And whose question is this?
Yes, mine.
Yeah.
Palash.
Did you get any answer on this?
No.
Okay. See, one use case I know is that if he's not a marketing user, he'll not be able to see the campaigns or related things related to the marketing cloud if he's not a marketing user. So that could be one reason of this. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And sorry, Mohit, for that above question which I had
That's fine. That is,
mentioned.
you can just correct them and then I will correct them and mark them in green so that I'll be able to pick them again. There is
Okay.
something which I need to check related to permission set group. My basic understanding says that if we have given it on profile, we cannot override it or we cannot restrict it by any other thing, but I can obviously check it. Hi, Manjunath, go ahead.
Yeah, Mohit. For the 44th, if that marketing user checkbox is not checked, we're not able to see the records also, right?
See, that is yet to be confirmed on the question. He has see, what happens is that if the user is not a marketing user, even though from profile if you have given him option to create permission, edit permission, read permission, he goes to there, he'll not be, yeah, you are right, he should not be even able to see the records because of that.
Because I experienced this similar to in Service Cloud or somewhere.
Yeah,
Not
in service
marketing.
cloud, it was related to the knowledge article. I have also experienced this. So I had all the permission on knowledge article, but that service cloud checkbox was not true, and I was not able to even view the tab of it.
We correct.
So that could be the case with campaigns as well. I will confirm it. But yeah, the reason could be like this only, that he's not a marketing user. All right, with that, let me stop the recording. Okay, sorry.